UX questions. Your user experience questions answered in 3 minutes or less.
Bob from Philadelphia asks, how can I recession-proof my UX career? I love that question. Thanks for asking, Bob. This is UX question number 19, and I'm Ben Judy. How can I recession-proof my UX career? Well, economic conditions will change. The job market will become hot or cold. Hiring for UX people will spike, and then come the layoffs. Thus has it ever been. You can't control any of that. You can only influence what you can influence. I have 3 quick pieces of advice. These are tips that have served me well throughout my career. I started my career in web design right as the .com bubble was bursting, and I worked through the recession after the 9/11 terrorist attacks in 2001, and then I joined a UX team at another company while the US was engaged in wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and I've seen all kinds of other macroeconomic and social uncertainty since then. Here's how I have stayed gainfully employed as a UX professional. 1. Build a broad skill set. As I said in answering question 18, you don't necessarily need to write code to be a UX designer. But the more skills you have, the more valuable you will be, especially when your employer needs to cut staff. They're going to keep high performers who can do a lot of things well. 2. Learn the business. Employers will look very differently at a UX designer who knows nothing about the business or how it makes money or what its real mission is, compared to a designer who gets the business, who knows how to help the business earn money or what the goals and the strategy of the org are. Don't just do great UX research and design work. Position yourself in the center of the revenue stream and visibly contribute to what makes the organization successful. 3. Network, network, network. Build your professional network like that is your real job. You know, I hear a lot of career advice along the lines of advocate for yourself, speak up for yourself because nobody else will. That's terrible advice. Yes, advocate for yourself, but it is far, far better to have other people advocate for you. The way you get other people to recommend you and vouch for you is to earn their trust, demonstrate the qualities of a professional, and be helpful, friendly, and memorable. Identify those key people who you admire as UX professionals and leaders and stay in touch with them. I'm naturally an introvert, but when I go to a design conference, I become an extrovert for a day or two because those relationships are important. Keep asking your questions about UX. Next time, I'll answer the question, what are the most popular UX software tools? Hey, it's Ben Judy. Thanks for joining me for another episode of UX Questions. UX Questions is produced as a video series for YouTube and as an audio podcast. If you want to submit a question, I would love to answer it. Just go to uxquestions.com, type in your question, and submit the form. You can also leave a comment on the latest episode on YouTube. I do read your comments. You can listen to the podcast via Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pocket Casts, or wherever you prefer to find your podcasts. Full text transcripts of each episode can also be found on the website at uxquestions.com. You can help spread the word about this show by clicking the share, like, and subscribe buttons on any YouTube video, sharing links to the podcast with your friends, and giving a 5-star rating and a review. I also invite you to support UX Questions on Patreon. You can earn different perks at each level of support, and I really appreciate your Patreon subscription. For the price of a cup of coffee or two each month, you can become part of the UX Questions community and make it possible for me to keep answering more of your questions. Visit patreon.com/UXQuestions for all the details. I'm now offering sponsorships and personal messages. Want to promote your brand, your product, or yourself to the UX Questions audience? I offer a variety of options from a short mention in a single episode, all the way up to multi-channel, long-term sponsorship opportunities. Visit uxquestions.com for details. If I've learned one thing about user experience over the course of my career, it's that there's always something new to learn, some new question to be answered. So keep those questions coming in, and keep checking UX Questions. Your UX questions answered in 3 minutes or less.